Now, if you're in the market for a new home or investment property, one of the first questions you're probably going to ask is, what the heck can we afford? Many buyers, become so caught up in how much they can afford that they really don't realize their total buying or purchasing power. That is the total amount of purchasing potential that they actually have. Now, what if there was a way to unlock more buying power than you realize? By looking at all of the options available to you, you might be surprised at what you can actually afford. That perfect home you keep picturing could be closer than you think. Hey, it's Bobby Friel, and I'm just living the Colorado real estate life. If you have questions and want to chat, just to get started on the path to owning a part of Colorado real estate, the easiest thing you can do, check the top pinned comment or the link in the description to book a call, and really we're going to develop a clear plan of action for you. So what exactly is purchasing power? It's basically how much house you can comfortably afford each and every month. Think of it as the money that you have left over after paying all your bills and all your regular expenses and any savings stashed away for a down payment. That money from selling your current home, possibly if you have one, and the amount that the bank says you can borrow all play a role in that overall purchasing power number. Now, once you factor all this in, you might discover you can snag a larger home, a place in a dream neighborhood, or maybe even realize you need to adjust your price range a bit and come down. The key is understanding your full picture. Now, you might have heard about something called housing affordability. This is a fancy way for experts to say whether the average person with an average income could afford the average home on the market. It's really a good way to get a general sense of things, but there is a bit of a catch. It doesn't always specifically apply directly to you. What's considered affordable for the average person might not be the same for you based on your income, your expenses, and your savings. And then here's why understanding your purchasing power is vitally important. The price tag on a house isn't the only thing that matters. Sure, it's totally one of the more important things, but also is your monthly payment. And that price tag doesn't take into account things like property taxes, homeowners insurance, monthly fees, and potential repairs. Figuring out your true monthly payment will prevent you from getting stuck in a situation where you overestimate or underestimate what you can afford. And remember, you'll be living with that monthly payment, not necessarily the sticker price. So once you have a clear picture of your buying power, you can actually make better informed decisions, and you'll be able to find a home that fits truly your needs and your lifestyle, instead of settling for something that seems affordable on paper but leaves you strapped for cash afterwards. And you definitely don't want to be house poor, which is a situation where all your money goes towards the house, leaving nothing left over for the fun stuff in life. And obviously, living in Colorado, we want fun stuff in life. And by understanding your buying power, you can achieve the dream of homeownership without sacrificing lifestyle, the lifestyle that you want, and the lifestyle that you deserve. Now, how the heck do you figure out that purchasing power? It's really actually pretty straightforward. So let's add up all of the money that you have saved up for that down payment or from selling your house that you currently live in, minus any of the fees associated with that and what you still owe in that mortgage. So we have our down payments. Then we're going to factor in your income sources like your monthly paycheck, your commissions, tips, any dividends from investments, or rental income, or really anything else that brings in money regularly. And don't forget to consider the amount that you qualify for the loan. Interestingly enough, most lenders recommend spending no more than 35 to 45% of your income on debt. That means everything related to your home, including the mortgage payment, the property taxes, and homeowner insurance. Some experts even suggest being more conservative and keeping your housing costs below the 30% threshold. Now, ultimately, that decision is yours, and you can be average, you can play it safe, or be a little bit reckless. Now, it's up to you to find that middle ground. Now, traditionally, lenders want you to be around that 28% or less on your housing debts. That way, not every single penny that you bring in goes towards your house. It's a very important cash to set aside for regular maintenance and other costs that could show up. Now, while these ratios are a good starting point, lenders really consider your entire financial picture when deciding how much to lend you. It might be tempting to borrow a ton of money to get that dream home that you want, but you have to remember, the less you have to borrow, the stronger that your buying power becomes. But you should know that there's really 4 main things that impact your buying power. First things first, that credit score, this is a big one. A strong credit score can unlock better borrowing terms typically lower interest rates, which can save you a ton of money over the life of the loan. So maintaining a good credit habit obviously is key. Next, we have a debt to income ratio. This is basically the amount of debt that you have compared to your income in a percentage basis. The lower the ratio, the better you look to lenders as long as you have good credit history. Now, what this means is that your existing debts, if you manage those wisely, they can really impact your buying power. Of course, then you have to have assets. When lenders look at your buying power, they also consider your cash. Things like savings account, investment, and even documentation of where your down payment is coming from. So having a healthy mix of assets demonstrates financial stability because, of course, that's where the down payment comes from. Now, the more money that you can put down as the down payment, the less you need to borrow. Pretty straightforward. Plus, with a down payment of 20% or more, you can avoid private mortgage insurance and potentially snag a lower interest rate. So saving for a sizable down payment can significantly boost your buying power. So lastly, to address your biggest concern as a potential first-time homebuyer or someone who hasn't bought a home in a while, saving for the down payment is the largest hurdle typically. So trust me, saving for the down payment is one of the first and most important steps. But depending on the occupancy of your property, whether it's a primary residence, an investment property, or a second home, the down payment requirements can vary significantly. My suggestion is if you have at least 5% down on your primary residence, that's really the time that you want to reach out to a real estate agent like myself so that we can start the onboarding process, get you looking at properties within your price point and your budget, right? That way, if the right property becomes available, you can act on it without having that 20% down. Because private mortgage insurance, while some people get like a little nervous about having that, it typically is a pretty small payment amount for somebody that can buy a house now versus waiting a handful of years to get that 20% down. And if you have questions on how that all works, if you have questions on this, you can feel free to check the top pinned comment, book a consultation. I can walk you through all those ins and outs and all your questions that you might have. Now, here's some quick, simple tips for saving for that initial investment, that down payment. Let's set what we call SMART goals. First things first, you're going to need to set that target date. This means setting a specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goal, those SMART goals. So think about it. How much do you realistically need for a down payment in your area? So just for simple numbers, let's say the average home costs you $800,000 and you want to put 20% down. That means you're going to need to save $240,000. Now, knowing this number up front will help you track your progress and stay motivated. Then it's time to trim the fat. Get that budget going. Take a close look at your monthly spending. And are there areas where you can definitely cut back? Most likely. Maybe it's not eating out as much or downgrading your cable package. Every dollar saved is a dollar closer to your dream home. Now, many people who have saved for a down payment cut back on non-essential items and entertainment. Little sacrifices like this can make a big difference in the overall long run. Can you boost your income? Think outside the box. Can you take on a side hustle or sell some unused stuff online? Every bit of extra income can accelerate your savings timeline. Don't forget to stash away windfalls like tax refunds or work bonuses or commissions as well. Explore home buyer programs. There might be hidden gems out there. Check with the local county, the state, and the government programs that offer grants or assistance specifically for first-time home buyers. A lot of them here in Colorado, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer, which can help plan for your payment and downstroke goals. But you need to remember that saving for a down payment takes time and discipline, but it's absolutely achievable. All you need to do is follow these tips and you can unlock the door to your dream home sooner than you think. Now, do you want a clearer picture of your buying or your purchasing power? Would you like to see what kind of homes you can get with your budget? Give us a call. Let's talk more about your situation and see how we can craft a personalized plan to reach your homeownership goals. And again, the easiest thing to do, check the top pinned comment or the link in the description for a direct link to our consultation calendar. It's really simple and straightforward. Just pick a time that jives with your schedule. And what we'll do is a video chat. We can share a bunch of information and data for you. And most importantly, come up with a clear plan of action for you to own a piece of Colorado real estate. We look forward to connecting with you very soon. While you're here, check out one of these other videos. And as always, enjoy our great Colorado sunny days. Stay sweet.